Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my review for the 15th anniversary of Friday Night Smackdown that took place on October 10th, 2014. So this was the big 15th anniversary of Smackdown, and did they make it feel like the 15th anniversary of Smackdown? Sort of. I would say it would because they did show like the past, and they did some certain things that made it feel like the 15th anniversary of Smackdown. What I preferred better, but that's not what we got. But I would say this was a pretty good SmackDown, and I got to see some stuff from the 15th anniversary of SmackDown. So I get it started. We get JBL, Tom Phillips, and Michael Cole on commentary, and when they kicked off the show, they mentioned how when there was the first episode of SmackDown, when it started, JBL was a wrestler. He was, if you don't know, he was wrestling the name Bradshaw from the APA that also consisted of Farouk. Michael Cole was still on commentary, and Tom Phillips was only 10 years old. So I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. And then we get this, they show a video package for SmackDown. It just all the moments of SmackDown, like Edge cashing in the Money in the Bank on Undertaker, Eddie Guerrero doing the frog splash off the steel cage to JBL, Cody Rhodes tossing the briefcase in the tossing Damian Sandow's briefcase in the water, well, in the ocean. Eric Bischoff pretending to be, I think, Vince McMahon. A lot of good moments. What else happened? That's all I can really think of. I think there was more, but I just can't think of them. Just check out the video package. I think another one was probably when Triple H and the Stone Cold Steve Austin destroyed the DX Express, and Stephanie McMahon came out and cut a promo. She talked about how this is the 15th anniversary of SmackDown. It's going to be a special show, and she talked about how she was the first general manager of SmackDown, and she brings out some another general manager named John Laurinaitis. I think they talked about how he was like the greatest general manager of all time, and I guess he had the right to write the show. And Teddy Long came out. He actually made his return. He got a big pop. Everyone seemed to like it, and I thought it was kind of cool that Teddy Long was there. That was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting Teddy Long to be there. And then Teddy Long said that he let him take power from SmackDown again, and he's not going to let that happen. Because John Laurinaitis was out there talking about how he created people power and how he was the GM of both Raw and SmackDown, and how he was probably the former vice president of. No, how he was the former executive vice president of talent relations. But Teddy Long says that he thinks he's the greatest SmackDown general manager of all time. He was the general manager for 6 years. And they're trying to outdo each other and prove that they're the GM by making tag team matches. They make 2-on-2 John Laurinaitis makes a 2-on-2 tag team match with The Miz and Cesaro versus Sheamus and Jack Swagger, which I thought was random. But then Teddy Long changes it and makes a 6-man tag team match with Sheamus, Jack Swagger, and Mark Henry versus Bo Dallas, Cesaro, and The Miz. And then and then what else was John Laurinaitis changed it, I think, to a 10-man tag team match. No, an 8-man tag team match or something. Eventually, it gets changed into a 15-man tag team match. And because they kept going 10 and 8, and John Laurinaitis was like, "How can we do a 10-man tag team match? No, a 15-man tag team match. That's not possible." And he's like, "I think it is," because he makes for the heel side, Cesaro, The Miz. Los Matadors, which consists of Diego and Fernando, Golden Stardust, and Slater Gator, which consists of Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil, and the Mini-Gator, which is Hornswoggle. And then the face team is Sheamus, who is the United States champion, I should mention, and Golden Stardust are the WWE Tag Team Champions. Mark Henry, Jack Swagger, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, Lost Matadors, and let me think. I think it was El Torito. I might be Jack Swagger, Mark Henry. I think that's everybody. And Stephanie McMahon likes it, and whoever wins will be like the greatest general manager of all time. I think they mean out of those two because I don't think these guys are the greatest GMs of all time. I think John Laurinaitis was a better GM than Teddy Long because I thought he was better. I think I've talked about this before because John Laurinaitis was the GM of both Raw and SmackDown when I started making the YouTube videos. Actually, and then Adam Rose came out and talked about how this is a party, this is an anniversary, and this is a party, so we should be celebrating. And Stephanie McMahon agrees, and then she puts him in a match with Corporate Kane, and Adam Rose is like in shock, and the Rosebuds are like in shock as well. I thought that was actually pretty funny. Then afterwards, they play Adam Rose's music, and Stephanie McMahon and Teddy Long start dancing, and then John Laurinaitis starts dancing. And then they play like past SmackDown moments throughout the night. Most of them I've already seen. This one was the 15 years of laying the SmackDown. It shows the first episode of SmackDown and when it was Triple H, and when Triple H beat The Rock to retain his World Wrestling Federation WWF Championship. When Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee. I'm not really going to go too far in depth into some of this stuff because I might review these SmackDowns in the future. And then we get Adam Rose versus Corporate Kane. This was really a short match. Corporate Kane wins with a chokeslam. And then afterwards, Corporate Kane attacks the Rosebuds. He just pretty much destroys all of them. Big boot, clothesline. And then he goes after the bunny. And the Rosebuds are like trying to protect this bunny. I don't know why, but they are. And anyone who tries to go in gets chokeslammed, and eventually the bunny escapes. I thought it was made Kane, I guess, look like a monster, but it's kind of hard because he's wearing dress pants and shoes. So I don't know. I kind of wish if this was the 15th anniversary of SmackDown that they could have had Kane come out with his mask and be Monster Kane, but that didn't happen. I wonder if we now 15 years ago, Kane was like a real monster. He was a real monster. He had the awesome mask and stuff, and now he's Corporate Kane, so it kind of sucks for Kane. And then afterwards, it's sort of another SmackDown moment, Hustle, Loyalty, and debut. It was John Cena's debut in the WWE. And AJ Lee had a match with Alicia Fox, and Paige was at ringside. And AJ Lee won with the Black Widow. It was a quick match. And then afterwards, Paige attacks AJ Lee, and they both gain up on her, and AJ Lee fights them off, but then they play a theme song when they're both still in the ring when they clearly could have just gone back and attacked her, so I didn't get that. I think they're doing like some sort of triple threat situation or something at Hell in a Cell between AJ Lee and Alicia Fox and Paige, or they might just do a one-on-one match with Alicia Fox at ringside. And then we got Kofi Kingston versus Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins had Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury ringside because in case John Cena and Dean Ambrose came out and attacked Seth Rollins. I should mention too, that John. Odd. Sorry, I got distracted. There was something on my phone. I thought I was on like a phone call or something. Anyhow, they announced later on that the Miz was gonna host Miz TV with John Cena and Dean Ambrose. So I just thought I mentioned that. But Seth Rollins pretty much squashes Kofi Kingston. What? Hold on. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. We had Seth Rollins pretty much squashed Kofi Kingston. He hit the turnbuckle bomb and the curve stomp for the win. Thought it was okay stuff. And then we got the next these past SmackDown moments. It was the Soul Bank moments, which it showed superstars who've cashed in Money in the Bank, who have successfully cashed in Money in the Bank on SmackDown, which isn't very many because only 2 of them have done it. And that would be Edge against Undertaker and Jack Swagger against Chris Jericho. I'll talk about those in the future maybe. And then I screwed up. I wrote Dolph Ziggler with Lana versus Dolph Ziggler, but I don't know why, but I did. But it's really Rusev with Lana versus Dolph Ziggler. This was after Rusev had his big ongoing with The Rock, and Rusev and Ziggler actually had a pretty good match. Rusev pretty much destroys Ziggler throughout the match, and then Ziggler tries to start to make a comeback. One thing I liked was when Dolph Ziggler went to do the jumping DDT that he does. I liked how they showed how strong Rusev was, that he was too strong to be dropped down like that. He powered out of it. I thought that was awesome. Then eventually Ziggler hits the Famouser on him, but then Rusev kicks out at 1, which was awesome. And then Ziggler tries to give a super kick to Rusev, but then Rusev catches a leg and flips him up and flips him, and Rusev hits the big kick and the accolade, and Ziggler taps out, so Rusev gets the victory. And afterwards, Lana and Rusev cut a promo. Lana talks about how this was where America was created, and pretty much trashes it. Then Rusev cuts a promo, talks about how he'll destroy The Rock, and how he challenges Big Show to a match on Raw. And I think that match is happening. I think it is, actually. And then they showed another SmackDown moment. It was called Price Check on Jackass. It was when Stone Cold Steve Austin attacked Booker T in the supermarket. And then the Authority and The Rock were backstage. This was after Raw on Monday, and this was awesome. So they were talking about how The Rock was happy to be there and stuff, and they were reliving the SmackDown moments. How when Triple H beat The Rock on the first episode of SmackDown, and then afterwards The Rock made Triple H cry the next week, and he dropped him and made him cry. And then Triple H is like, "You're mistaken. That was Road Dogg you had made cry." And then he's like, The Rock was like, "Oh yeah." And then Triple H talks about how he dropped The Rock more. He was always standing up at the lights. And then they kind of go back and forth, and they get face to face, and they get so close to each other that Triple H is like, "Well, how come every time we see each other we always get this close?" And The Rock's like, "I don't know." And then The Rock even talked about how he would whip his ass at a WrestleMania, and the Triple H like, "You name the WrestleMania, and would whip your ass." And then The Rock and Triple H were so close that like one of them has to back out, and I can't back out because I'm the People's Champ. And Triple H is like, "I can't back out. I'm the Game." And then I'm the Cerebral Assassin. And then they're like, the Rock says, "Well, I'll count to 3, and at the same time we'll both back down." And then Triple H is like, "Wait, you're not going to do any of this. It doesn't matter if you back out or anything." And the Rock's like, "No, I will really back out." So then he counts to 3, and they both back out. And then they start arguing again when Triple H says that he would whip his ass at any WrestleMania again. And Stephanie McMahon's like, "Can't we just talk about this later? Let's just go get something to eat." And then The Rock's like, "Okay, you're paying." And then Triple H is like, how come this guy had a #1 movie seller this year, and he can't even pay the bill? It's like, he's a cheapskate. And The Rock's like, "I heard that." So thought it was actually really funny stuff. And then it showed the commentary, and I normally don't talk about this, but JBL had a cake with them. And I guess this was like Tom Phillips' initiation to SmackDown, because JBL dumped the cake on Tom Phillips, which I thought was awesome. It was pretty funny. And then we got Team Teddy versus Team Johnny. Instead, I already said who was in this team, but The Miz didn't end up joining the team because he had to go do the Miz TV segment with John Cena and Dean Ambrose. And so his stunt double, Damien Mizdow, joined instead. And Booker T did commentary for this match. And Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis were both at ringside with their teams. Teddy Long was the manager for the face team, and John Laurinaitis was the manager for the heel team. And then I thought this match was, I guess, decent. There was some good stuff in this match, but not a lot. It was just kind of like a typical tag team match. The heels get the heat on one of the Usos for pretty much the whole match, and then Sheamus gets the hot tag and starts going off on Cesaro. There was one cool thing in this match where Sheamus likes to do the 10 beats of the baboon in the ropes, and he did it to like Sheamus, I think Heath Slater, and Damien Mizdow. He just went back and forth and did it to all of them. And then Sheamus was getting ready, tried to put away Cesaro, but Damien Mizdow broke it up, and all the superstars come in and take out each other. And the Matadors dived through the ropes on Slater Gator. The Usos took out Golden Stardust. And John Laurinaitis, they dived on him too. And then the Gator tried to take out I think someone, but then the Gator tried to dive, and then El Torito took him out, and he tried to go dive, but Bo Dallas did the Razor's Edge outside to everybody, and then Mark Henry tried to do the World's Strongest Slam, and Bo Dallas fights out of it and pulls down the top rope, and Henry went to charge at him, and then Sheamus, Bo Dallas starts to do his victory lap, and Sheamus, I think, hit something on him. I forget what he hit, and then Cesaro hits the big swing on him, and then Damien Mizdow tags himself in, and Sheamus hits the blow kick on him for the win. And I guess Teddy Long's the greatest general manager of all time. Hope. And the last SmackDown moment they show is We Will Never Forget, and it happened on September 13th, 2001. So it happened 2 days after the 9/11 incident, and it just showed all the good moments that happened. If they ever show that moment. And on my other channel, on the Talkinator, I would try to give like a story. I'm 18 years old, so I was like in first grade when this happened, so I'm not really too sure about it, so I would have to read into it, but I will talk about the 9/11 situation, maybe. Then we got the Miz with his Miz TV segment with John Cena and Dean Ambrose. This actually was a good segment, but I didn't like what we found out in this match about the match. The Miz announces that, because the Miz was talking to Stephanie McMahon earlier in the night, I think that Stephanie McMahon told him to say this, that John Cena and Dean Ambrose's match is going to be a no-holds-barred contract on a pole match, which kind of sucks, because I don't really like contract on a pole matches, because they're just stupid. Hopefully they don't make this match stupid, because normally they do, but I don't think they will, because Dean Ambrose made the 6-man tag team matches look good. He made a lumberjack match look good, so I think this should be alright. I think they should have made this a ladder match instead, but John Cena's not like a type of guy really that does ladder matches, so maybe that's why they didn't want to do it. But Dean Ambrose calls out comes out, and then Cena comes out, and Dean Ambrose talks about how he laid out Cena because he doesn't like take any crap from anybody, no matter who you are, and you're just too close to the situation where I can't get Seth Rollins in the ring, so he has to do this. Then John Cena talks about how Dean Ambrose has gotten as far as he is because he has these, and he prints out baseball referencing balls. And then he tells me, hey, don't look at these, you don't know anything about them, which I thought was funny. And he talks about pretty much how much balls Dean Ambrose has, and says that, I hope you know who I am, and and stuff, and take me very seriously, because after this match, you will know my name. And then The Miz is trying to stir up, like, tension between John Cena and Dean Ambrose, so they'll fight. So he's like, can you defeat John Cena? And he's like, yep. But it's pretty much backfiring. So then when Cena goes to walk off, The Miz is like, this is supposed to be rated Miz TV. You guys are supposed to be fighting each other. So then John Cena's like, yeah, we'll fight each other. He's like, yeah, we'll fight. But we're not going to fight each other. We're going to fight you. So Ambrose and Cena attack The Miz. Cena's about to hit the attitude adjustment on Miz, but he hands him off and lets Ambrose plant him with the DDT, and then afterwards Cena gives him the AA to end the show. And that was the end of the 15th anniversary of Smackdown. I think I liked the show pretty much. There wasn't like a lot of stuff I liked. I liked the Rock and Triple H backstage segment, even though technically that happened on Raw, but it still was good to see that happen here. I liked the Miz TV segment. I did like the team. It's kind of cool to see John Laurinaitis and Teddy Long again, so I like that. And I like to see the past SmackDown moments. And I like the Rusev Dolph Ziggler match. And that's about, and maybe Kane taking out the Rosebud. I like that. So I think that this was pretty good stuff. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll probably be back with more content on the channel this weekend, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna make. I know I'm gonna make on Saturday, but I'm probably not gonna make nothing Sunday. So don't get your hopes up. But that's pretty much it, guys. Peace out.